it's Arlesha. I'm a purpose-driven mover and shaker, harmonizing life and ambition. Welcome to my podcast. This season, I'm talking about the special stories, lessons, and insights from my 14-plus year run in the sports industry. Throughout each episode, you'll hear about the gems that drive my career approach and my outlook on life, in the hopes it'll inspire you to harmonize your life and career ambitions. Let's get into it. Here we are, episode 4. Welcome back to Hey, it's Arlesha. I hope you're enjoying going through the gems between the pages so far this season. If this episode was shared with you, I highly encourage you to start at episode 1 of season 2, where I give a summation of my career journey so far and talk about the definition of what I call championship career excellence. If you've been tuning in this season and are enjoying the gems and insights shared so far, I want to hear from you. Leave a star rating for season 2 as a signal to me that you are enjoying this so far. There's so much more gems to come, and I appreciate you tuning in. All right, let's get into the contents of episode 4. We are talking about what I call career foreshadows. Career foreshadows are the early career moments and experiences that offer up small clues that hint at bigger career-defining events to come. And those small clues are those seemingly insignificant moments that in hindsight, we realize were actually pointing us towards something larger. The clues can be in the form of small, subtle events that seem unimportant in the moment, but end up connecting the dots to larger opportunities. These small clues over time may map out a larger path in your career. Foreshadows then becomes the revelation that these clues were subtle indicators of a future career path or opportunity. The subtle indicators oftentimes track your curiosity, allow you to explore possibilities, provides you with data and information, or can simply be learning opportunities that will provide the skills for future endeavors. They signal the direction of your career, your points of interest, and sometimes even your breakthrough moments. My career foreshadows have offered all of the above. The interesting part is that you won't realize in real time that it's a defining moment or foreshadow until months, years, or sometimes even decades pass you by. It's what makes our respective career journeys so interesting. So allow me to share a few definitive moments and experiences that have ended up being foreshadows, game-changing opportunities or signals that my career would take various pivots. These are a few of my personal experiences where seemingly minor events became pivotal to my career. Let's take it back to 2011. It was this year that I was 2 years removed from my first role in the sports and entertainment industry, which was an entry role on D. Wade's management team. I don't think I talk about this often, but I took a quote-unquote layover role within a PR and marketing agency based in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. For those who aren't familiar, a layover role, layover, just like taking a flight between your landing destination, is a role that's taken between career destinations. It's like the job you take to get some quick experience to learn, but it's not what you ultimately want to do long term. The PR firm was a part-time position that I took on, all while simultaneously maintaining my role at the Miami Dolphins and making myself available to Wade's management team when needed. Full disclaimer, I was 23 years old at the time, so I had all the energy in the world to take on multiple gigs to get a feel for what I'd ultimately want to focus my lane and career on. If you are listening to this and you are in your 20s, my advice to you, do it all in this era while you have all of the energy to do so. So going back to the PR firm, it was a boutique firm that had a diverse client roster with various lifestyle and hospitality clientele. We once managed press and events for a popular luxury jeweler that outfitted many professional athletes with luxury timepieces to fine dining restaurants. I was hired as a marketing coordinator, and my main job was to support the lead publicist with ideation and on the ground support at events and red carpet activations. I'll never forget the crew there. Shout out to Patricia, Randy, Jody, and Kip. Although I only lasted 6 months on the job before ultimately joining Dwayne Wade's management team on a full-time basis in 2012, my primary role on the PR firm was to ideate creative concepts and promotions within the luxury realm. And oftentimes, the work had nothing to do with sports. Again, our clients were a fine jewelry company and fine dining restaurants. The job was an opportunity for me to own my creative communications and writing skills while giving me exposure to work that fell outside of the traditional sports scope. I didn't see it at the time, but the 6-month role was a foreshadow. What made it a foreshadow was that as I penetrated the sports industry on the traditional side of the business, working with clientele that did business in the luxury lifestyle space like Dwayne Wade, I was able to lean on the experience from this PR job that gave me the confidence and the know-how to support those partnerships that promoted luxury timepieces, luxury clothing, and wine harvested in Napa Valley. If you're enjoying this episode so far, would you enjoy it even more with visual examples of the very topic I'm discussing right now? I'm sure you're nodding your head saying yes. So I am here to remind you that I've shared the insight peek into my career scrapbook, which commemorates over 100 memories during my 14+ year run in the sports industry. And it's live on YouTube. The scrapbook sets the theme for the career and life lessons that I will continue to share this season on the podcast. I highly recommend you tune in after this episode if you haven't already done so. I'm excited to continue to take you through the gems between the pages. The link to the scrapbook video is in the show description. Enjoy. Again, when these defining moments come, they're often subtle, and you won't realize them as definitive in real time. These moments foreshadow future opportunities and how it's only in hindsight that we see the significance. It's important to trust the process and follow these clues even when they don't seem immediately relevant to your current career goals. I'll share another foreshadow. I mentioned this in the scrapbook video, but I want to talk about a foreshadow that was in the form of a kind of sign that I got multiple times involving what would ultimately become a career breakthrough opportunity. I couldn't help but to reminisce on this moment as I looked at my scrapbook, witnessing the photo that I took with the Golden Gate Bridge behind me. So around 2016, I made a pivot where I had a dual role in player management, but also took on some player marketing duties during my agency days in sports. That same year, Super Bowl 50 was taking place in San Francisco. And many of you who are seasoned in the industry know this, but Super Bowl is usually one of the best tentpole and one of the most important tentpole activations within sports business. It's a key marketing event in the sports industry. This is when all the brand players are out. If you are doing anything in the marketing or in the brand partnership space, it's one of the weeks in sports that you want to have a presence in. It means going to the events, going to the conferences, the gatherings, the press events. It's a time to interact with potential buyers who make endorsement decisions and oversee marketing budgets, as well as interact with clients or potential clients if you are an agent or manager. So there I was in the Bay Area, just so excited to be there and relishing in the moment because the trip was itself very significant to me. This was my first time emerging in the market with my peers and colleagues, positioning myself with intention for this pivot I had just made. But bigger than that, and obviously I did not realize this in real time, but that photo with the Golden Gate Bridge in the background would ultimately be a wink. A symbolic wink of a growth opportunity that would be in my future. Obviously, everything is hindsight 2020, right? And you all know what that ultimately was. Yes, the role working for four-time NBA champion Stephen Curry at SC30 Inc. And not to mention, just a short time after that Super Bowl Bay Area trip, I would interact with Ayesha Curry as she released and promoted the launch of her first cookbook around that same time. I believe she released 2 cookbooks within a span of 2 years, and I interacted with her on both of those tours. Now, interestingly enough, I didn't share this in a video, but I recall just being so impressed with Ayesha's approach to leveraging platform, starting her business, and diving into entrepreneurship, all while her husband, obviously Steph, was gaining legend status on the court. I was with a girlfriend at the time when we were at this book signing event with Ayesha, and after taking my photo and exchanging a few words with her, I remember saying about Ayesha, I really like her. She is someone that I could work for. I could see myself working for. Obviously, I didn't think anything of it. Until 6 years later, lo and behold, I would be working with her hubby, Steph, at SC30 Inc., and interacting with Ayesha some as well. So, needless to say, I look back at those moments, at the Super Bowl trip, interactions with Ayesha, as career foreshadows. The excitement I felt being a part of the hustle and bustle during that Super Bowl weekend was not for nothing. And the impressions I had of someone leveraging platform and embracing entrepreneurship fueled an interest that would speak to my current passions at this time and inform my future pivots. It was incredible to relive those moments and see those dots come together. Your career foreshadows do that. We often overlook these small moments, and it's quite normal, as we tend to focus so much more on big opportunities rather than the subtle ones happening. Growth and success often happens in ways we least expect, and recognizing the foreshadows require us to stay open to all experiences. The power of hindsight is that it allows you to reflect on how things ultimately come together for you, that the excitement, the curiosities, the ideas that come to you as you journey in your career are not for nothing and far from just a coincidence. It's easier to connect the dots and recognize the clues that foreshadowed your current career path. I encourage you to think back on your own experiences and identify similar moments in your life. It's why incorporating reflection and gratitude into your life is so important, so that you can record these moments, assess the impact of them, and see how they form dot connects for future opportunities or directions you might want to pivot into. Embracing every opportunity, no matter how small, is crucial because it may foreshadow something much larger down the road. If you like today's episode, download and share with a friend. These gems are for us and for them as well. Until next time, I am sincerely yours, Arlesha.